Defeating procrastination, the hidden enemy blocking your potential and how to crush it forever. What if I told you that the enemy sabotaging your dreams isn't laziness at all? It's not a lack of drive or even a deficiency in talent. No, the real antagonist here is a voice. Quiet, logical, and incredibly persuasive, that's been relentlessly stealing your future by convincing you to wait just a little longer. This isn't a loud, booming declaration of failure. Procrastination doesn't shout. It whispers. It slips into your thoughts like a trusted advisor, offering what feels like comfort, but is, in reality, a meticulously laid trap. It tells you to start that business tomorrow, to hit the gym next week, to write that book after you've watched just one more episode. And before you know it, days become weeks, weeks become months, and your ambitious dreams remain just that, dreams. For too long, you've probably felt that gnawing guilt, that quiet shame that follows you after a day spent scrolling instead of building, planning instead of doing. You've blamed yourself, called yourself lazy, wished for more discipline. But what if that feeling of passive guilt could melt away, replaced by a surge of igniting courage? What if you could finally understand the true nature of this invisible resistance, unmask its deceptive tactics, and learn to silence it permanently? Today, we're not just going to talk about procrastination. We're going to dissect it, expose its core mechanisms, and arm you with the strategies to crush it forever. This isn't about quick fixes or superficial tips. This is about a profound mindset transformation that will fundamentally alter how you approach action, how you perceive discomfort, and ultimately, how you sculpt your destiny. Prepare to shift from passive waiting to powerful doing. Prepare to understand the hidden enemy, and then prepare to defeat it. Section 1. Procrastination isn't laziness, it's a mental trap. You see, for years, the narrative around procrastination has been tragically misunderstood. We've been fed this lie that it's a character flaw, a sign of inherent laziness, or a deep-seated lack of discipline. The truth is, that couldn't be further from reality. You are not lazy, you've simply been tricked. Procrastination isn't some inherent moral failing. It's a deeply ingrained habit, a complex neurological response wired into your brain, often masquerading as a survival mechanism. Your brain, in its primal effort to keep you safe and comfortable, sees challenging tasks as potential threats, as sources of discomfort or even pain. And what does a good survival mechanism do? It steers you away from perceived pain. So this friend called procrastination shows up, not with a shout, but with a seductive whisper. Not now. Later will be better. Later, you'll have more energy. Later, the conditions will be perfect. Later, you'll feel more motivated. It offers you instant gratification, a quick scroll, a mindless distraction, a temporary escape from the discomfort of the task at hand. And for a moment, you feel a fleeting sense of relief. But then, as you well know, later never truly comes. The task looms larger, the pressure mounts, and that initial whisper of comfort transforms into a roar of regret. This isn't that you lack discipline, or that you're somehow less capable than others. It's that your brain has been trained over time, through countless small choices, to seek immediate comfort instead of embracing the challenge that leads to long-term growth and fulfillment. It's a classic case of short-term gain for long-term pain. Think about it. When you procrastinate, you're not necessarily avoiding the work itself. You're avoiding the feeling associated with starting that work. That feeling could be boredom, frustration, self-doubt, or even the fear of failure. And your brain, ever the protector, says, let's just put that off, shall we? This is the insidious nature of mental resistance. It's an invisible force, powerful and pervasive, and it's the primary obstacle standing between you and your aspirations. Once you understand this, the shame begins to dissipate, replaced by a liberating realization. You're not flawed. You've just been playing a game with rules you didn't fully understand. The first step to defeating procrastination is understanding that it's a strategy your brain employs, not a verdict on your character. What's one lie procrastination keeps telling you? Section 2. The real reason you're delaying. It's not what you think. Let's go deeper into the heart of this mental trap. If procrastination isn't about laziness, then what is it about? It's about fear, and not always the obvious kind. It's the subtle, pervasive fear of failure, certainly. The fear of not being good enough, of falling short, of making mistakes, But it's also the fear of success, believe it or not. The fear of being seen, of increased responsibility, of stepping into a spotlight that might feel too bright. It's the fear of discomfort, the simple, gnawing feeling of engaging with something that requires sustained mental effort, something that pushes you beyond your current boundaries. Think about it. Instead of facing that fear, that discomfort, what do? You scroll, you snack, you endlessly research a topic you already know enough about. You clean that perfectly clean room. You organize your sock drawer. Sound familiar? These are all sophisticated distraction techniques your brain employs to avoid the perceived threat of the task itself. It's an elaborate dance of avoidance, all designed to keep you in your comfort zone, even if that comfort zone is a gilded cage of unfulfilled potential. As the brilliant Mel Robbins famously put it, you are not lazy. You just haven't yet learned to act in spite of discomfort. This quote is a profound truth. It strips away the judgment and replaces it with a pathway to empowerment. The key is not to eliminate fear. Fear is a natural human emotion. The key is to learn to act in spite of it. This means you need to become intimately familiar with your fears. When you feel the urge to procrastinate, pause for a moment. Instead of giving in, ask yourself, what am I really afraid of right now? Is it the fear of starting? The fear of the unknown? The fear of judgment? Name the feeling. Journal about it. Confront it head on. Shine a light on that fear, and often its power diminishes. This isn't about brute force. It's about strategic self-awareness and cultivating the courage to lean into discomfort. It's how you truly overcome fear of failure and begin to truly understand how to take action. What fear has been holding your progress hostage? Section 3. Action before motivation. Why feeling ready is a lie. Here's one of the most liberating truths no one tells you. You will never feel ready. Not truly, not perfectly, not in that mythical, fully charged burst of inspiration way you often envision. Because motivation, that elusive spark we all chase, is born from movement, not the other way around. We tend to believe we need to feel motivated first, then we'll act. But that's a lie that keeps us perpetually stuck. Think of it this way. When a car is parked, it takes a surge of energy to get it moving. But once it's rolling, even a gentle push keeps it going. That initial push is action. The sustained movement, that's momentum. This is where a profound yet deceptively simple technique comes into play. The 5-second rule. When you have an impulse to act on a goal, an idea, or a commitment, you have a tiny window, about 5 seconds before your brain's prefrontal cortex kicks in. That's the part of your brain that loves to rationalize, analyze, and ultimately talk you out of anything difficult or uncomfortable. It's your internal procrastination machine. But if you count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then move, you bypass that self-sabotaging mechanism. You interrupt the pattern of hesitation. Every time you hesitate, your brain kills the idea. It finds reasons not to do it. It conjures up scenarios of discomfort. It tells you to wait. But if you move, if you act, even in the smallest possible way, you create momentum. And momentum is power. It's the engine of progress. It's the force that carries you from a single step to a marathon, from a single paragraph to a finished book, from a single client call to a thriving empire. You don't need to feel like running a marathon to put on your running shoes. You don't need to feel like writing a novel to open a blank document and type one sentence. The very act of starting, no matter how small, sends a powerful signal to your brain. We're doing this. And that initial commitment, that tiny spark of action, often ignites the motivation you were waiting for all along. This is how you build momentum and truly learn how to stay disciplined. What's one action you can take right now without waiting to feel ready? Section 4. Shift your identity from procrastinator to doer. This is perhaps the most fundamental shift you can make in your battle against procrastination, and it moves beyond mere tactics. Procrastination isn't just a discipline problem. At its deepest level, it's an identity problem. Think about it. If you unconsciously identify yourself as someone who waits, or struggles to get started, or always puts things off, then your actions will naturally align with that identity. Your brain, being incredibly efficient, will simply confirm what it believes to be true about you. If you see yourself as someone who waits, you will always wait. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But what if you were to consciously, deliberately, and powerfully declare a new identity for yourself? What if you were to declare yourself a builder, a finisher, a professional, an action taker? Suddenly, action doesn't feel like a chore. It feels natural. It feels congruent with who you believe yourself to be. As the wisdom inspired by Napoleon Hill suggests, a man who knows who he is and what he is here to build cannot sit still for long. This isn't about faking it until you make it. It's about choosing a powerful new self-concept and then acting from that concept. This isn't just a mental game. It's a profound act of self-reinvention. One incredibly powerful technique to solidify this identity shift is through morning declarations. Every single morning, before the world has a chance to tell you who you are, tell yourself who you are. Stand tall, look in the mirror, and declare, I am a finisher. I act in the face of fear. I move decisively. I am a builder of my dreams. These aren't just empty words. They are neural pathways you are building, solidifying your new identity with each repetition. When you consistently affirm who you are becoming, your brain starts to seek out evidence to support that belief, and your actions will naturally follow. This is how you stop procrastinating at its root and genuinely become action-oriented. What new identity are you ready to claim today? Section 5. Conclusion. We've peeled back the layers of procrastination today, revealing it not as a lazy flaw, but as a cunning mental trap, often rooted in fear, fueled by a mistaken belief about motivation, and solidified by a misaligned identity. We've seen that the enemy isn't external, but an internal whisper that steals your future, one delayed action at a time. The powerful truth you've now unlocked is that you are not powerless against this foe. You have the tools to unmask it, to disarm it, and to transform your relationship with action. Remember, procrastination is fear disguised. It's not about lacking discipline, but about learning to act in spite of discomfort. Motivation isn't a prerequisite for action, it's a byproduct of movement. Your identity shapes your behavior. Therefore, choose to identify as a builder, a finisher, an action taker. And finally, remember that discipline isn't a punitive chore. It's a sacred ritual, a commitment to your purpose. Your time is precious, and every moment you choose to act is an affirmation of your highest potential. The journey to an action-oriented life, a life where your dreams don't just stay in your head, but become tangible realities, begins with a single step. It begins with acknowledging the truth about procrastination and choosing a different path. It's about making a conscious decision in every moment of hesitation to lean into the discomfort, to take that 5-second leap, and to embody the person you are destined to become. This isn't just about getting more done. It's about reclaiming your power, building your legacy, and living a life of profound purpose and fulfillment. If this message resonated deep within you, if it sparked a flicker of recognition or ignited a fire of resolve, don't let that feeling fade into the whispers of tomorrow. This is your moment. This is your launch pad. Don't just watch this video and move on. Hit that like button and share your biggest takeaway in the comments below. Declare your new identity right now. Comment below, I act now, if you're truly done waiting and ready to build the life you've always envisioned. And if you're ready for more powerful truths that transform lives, if you're committed to cultivating a wealth mindset, mastering success principles, and achieving genuine financial freedom, then hit that subscribe button and join our community. This channel isn't just content, it's your ultimate destination for elevating your life, your mindset, and your legacy. Make the choice now. Let's build something extraordinary together. See you next time.